Whoa, 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 whoa. What is up, my people? Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all having an amazing day as always. I am your host, Honorable OCT Octavius Haye, and you are listening to the WACCast podcast today. So, you know what it is, about to do another exciting episode. If you haven't already and you're listening to this on YouTube, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we drop a new content. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, make sure you follow so you get notifications every time we upload a new episode on those platforms as well. So all that being said, let's go ahead and talk whack to him. So Kanye West is back at it again, y'all. He back posting. He's at war. He's fighting for his kids and his clothes. He's at war with the Kardashian family. He's at war with Gap. He's at war with Adidas. So if you didn't know, Adidas is kind of, making fake Yeezy shoes, using his styles for shoes that are not his. He does have a partnership with them, with Adidas, but they're going ahead and trying to mimic his style for their other brands. And then I think he's having an issue with Gap, trying to control how he sells his clothes and things like that. And of course, Kanye and Kim, they both have, I guess, differences of opinion on how to raise children. So he's going on his little epic rants and talking about how the head guy of Adidas, is trying to punk him, and they think that they can talk to him any type of way, and he made them all this money. He's also going in and talking about his kids are not going to be porn stars, and he wants them to go to his school and all this type of stuff. Let me tell you, I can be hard on Kanye sometimes, but I'm gonna throw him a pass this time. I 100% agree with the clothing companies, with Nike and with Gap. Yeezys have proven their worth. Kanye has proven his worth in the fashion industry with his clothes and his shoes, especially his shoes. And for, first of all, Adidas to come out and try to mimic his style and rip him off, one of their partners, somebody who's made them so much money, and they think that they can get away with that, just shows you how disrespected we can be as creators, especially black creators. And I do believe Kanye has every right to call him out. Now, would I go about it the way that Kanye is going about it? Would most people go about it that way? No. But the thing is, he's Kanye West. He's the name. He's the brand. He can get away with a lot more than most of us could, even other big names, because he is Kanye West and because he's already proven a track record of making them money. So if Kanye wants to go ahead and jump on tables and slam stuff and go off and throw his rants, hey, he'll probably get away with that, because what's the alternative? Him going somewhere else, him going back to Nike, him going to Reebok or somewhere. And with Gap, if Kanye wants to do things in his weird Kanye way, it's publicity. I don't know too much about that situation to say if they're being wrong or if they're if they're being manipulative or evil, practicing bad business. But I will say this, as far as with Gap, you entered in an agreement or a contract with Kanye. You know how it is. He wants full control, and I think he's earned some trust with the way he wants to handle things. Plus, let me see, Gap's not really doing too well. Yeah, Gap's not really doing too well. Banana Republic's not really doing too well. They're pretty much putting all their energy into Old Navy. So when you have someone like Kanye who is trying to bolster that company back up, and so all your revenue is not coming from Old Navy, because if you didn't know, Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic, and some other stores too, all under the same company. So Kanye is trying to help out. It's not saying that he just do whatever he wants to, but if he wants to put stuff in trash bags and whatever weird, let Kanye, have some fun, as long as they hurt nobody, as long as no liability or whatever. I think he should be good. Now, as far as Kim, I agree with his messaging of what he wants. I understand if he wants the kids to go to his school, but I also understand Kim Kardashian wanting her kids to go to school around the rest of their cousins, if that's the case, because they all live relatively close to each other, and all their kids are really close. And she has a school district at where she's at, and Kanye does like to fly around and be sporadic with where he goes and does all this stuff. Kim, even though she's very busy as well, tends, she has a more structured home base. Kanye said he don't own a house. Nah, yes, he do now, but I'm saying, so I think that it's fair for Kim to say, okay, we'll put the kids here. Him going off about Kwanzaa, that's just, black empowerment. So I don't know why Kanye's going off about that. But all of it is kind of weird because, again, you're putting all this stuff online and your kids are going to get grown and they're going to see how you're talking about their mother and calling her a porn star. And Kanye, I'm sorry, I think Charlamagne said it the best. You marry a porn star and you have 4 kids with a porn star. That sounds like a choice, brother. So we know how you feel about those choices. So unfortunately for you, your choice put you in a situation where now you have to parent with somebody who doesn't share your morals, and maybe you should have established that before you went after her and decided you want to put a ring on her and give her 4 kids, because this is your reality now. And Kim has a say in how she's gonna raise those kids. And unfortunately, when you're the father, not just a black father, but when you're the father, period, when you're the male, the court's against you. So I don't know what you're gonna do, Kanye, but it doesn't look like it's good for you. He's giving us some funny rants, though. He's been going off as only Kanye can. And, of course, he's been taking shots at Skeet. He's been taking shots at Kid Cudi. But what I do like about this is that it seems to be some type of a movement starting around Kanye. I know Diddy said he's not wearing no more Adidas. Tired of them profiting off of our community without giving back. And who knows, maybe there may be an Adidas strike. They said they're going to strike until this is made right. So we'll see what happens. Kanye, as always, people love Kanye. He's Kanye West. We know the rants are coming. So he kind of gets more of a pass than I feel most would. But I ain't mad at it. It's entertainment. Kanye's always a good time. He's always going to give you some funny stuff. And he's not, and a lot of times in there is some truth. He's not completely wrong. And I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying in this. I tend to question him a little bit more on the family end, but I understand what he's saying as far as how he wants his kids moving. Only thing is, you made the choice to be with who you chose to be with, Kanye, and now Kim also has a choice, and she's not married to you anymore, so whatever happens, happens. We'll see. So Adam22 from No Jumper went on the Joe Budden podcast, and Joe Budden decided that he was going to take this opportunity to call out Adam22 for what he considered nasty, disgusting, and toxic behavior from Adam22, reposting clips of an interview he had with Kevin Samuels after Kevin Samuels passed away, as well as Adam22 discussing, street issues that rappers have, bringing them on to his podcast and show to talk about it. In the interview, Joe Budden pretty much was going off by he's capitalizing off of death, he's capitalizing off of real people's street struggles and taking advantage of it and not showing any type of sympathy for the family and what they're going through. And Adam22's pretty much defense was like, well, no, this is just journalism. I have the right to post if I want to repost clips of what he's talking about about somebody who's passed away, like Kevin Samuels. That's fair game. I have that material, and everybody does that. News medias repost people, show previous clips. That's common. That's the game we're in. And also, when he's talking to rappers, Adam22 was saying, well, this is stuff they're already saying. Pretty much how you mad at me for reporting on it when they're talking about it. And, they come on, they talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't have to. But, I'm a journalist. These are things that people care about. I'm going to ask these questions. I get that. And I get Joe's point of view. But I will say this. Joe Budden and his co-host, Ice and Ish, they're wrong. I'm sorry. This is Adam22 is right. This is what you do. This is the content he made, and he talks about things that happen in the world, in the public world, pop culture or whatever, the hot topics are. They talk about hot topics too. You can choose what topics you want to talk about, what topics you feel comfortable with, but to say that somebody's malicious or wrong, I completely disagree with that. And I don't even think Joe Budden even made a good argument. I think a lot of the things they thought were like gotchas weren't gotchas. And they wanted Adam22 to take accountability, but like Adam was saying to Joe and Ice and Ish and Parks too, I don't agree with you. So what do you mean? I'm not taking accountability. I'm accountable to that's what I did, but I don't think that it's wrong. And I agree with Adam. I don't think that it's wrong to post about Kevin Samuels, to talk about Kevin Samuels when he's passed away. One of the things that Joe Budden had said was that Adam22 didn't even give Kevin Samuels' family time to grieve. That's not even true. Adam22 didn't break that story. The family finally let it come out that he had passed away. They gave permission for that to be known. So they had already known. They put that out there and gave permission. And Adam 22, once that was known, once it was made official, decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and re-upload some of these clips from the interview I had with him. This is a hot time for him. He's talking and I'm sharing his information. He's not talking trash about the guy. He's just sharing stuff that he said. Their interview where it was very nice and cordial and respectful. So what is Joe talking about? I can see if Adam 22 took this time to like post a bunch of negative things about Kevin Samuels, but he's just talking. He just posted about what they talked about. An interview that was up that nobody had a problem with. Like Joe Budden, I love Joe Budden. He's one of my favorite rappers. I love the podcast. But this holier than thou thing that he does has been really annoying for a number of years. It's like his problem with Vlad. Well, because Vlad asks grown people questions, they can say no comment. They can say, I'm not going to discuss that. You get more mad at Vlad than you getting at the people who actually doing these things. That's what's crazy to me. Profiting off of black pain? No, they're profiting off of black pain. They're the ones who's actually doing it. He's just reporting on it. Same with Adam 22. Adam 22 is just reporting on the people, the other black people who are profiting off of black pain and street stuff because they're the ones who are making the music that glorifies this. Sorry, that's the case. So be more angry at the creator if you're going to be mad at somebody. But Adam 22 is well within his right to talk about whatever he wants to on his platform. That doesn't make him a bad person because he's not creating this. He's commenting on it. He's giving commentary about it. That's it. That's what happens all the time. So what are you talking about? Isn't that what rappers used to say? I'm just a news person, and the news people talk about what's going on. I'm just reporting what's happening in my community. Well, he's reporting what's happening. That's being shown everywhere. You know, they tried it with ACT, even though Joe Budden was very defensive of ACT, protecting him and saying he wasn't coming to ACT. They tried it with ACT, tried it with Vlad, they tried it with Adam now. It's like, how are you going to be more mad at the person that's reporting on what happened? Why aren't you mad at the person that's doing it, that's causing this, that's having these street beefs? And then Joe Budden's going to say, when Adam said he was, spreading the message that Kevin Samuels put his whole life into talking about, Joe Budden, how can you, the nerve of you to think that you know what his life mission was? You ain't knew it for 2 years. Like they got stuck on the dumbest of stuff. First of all, if you don't like the word life mission, one of his missions was this. He's actively said that. I don't know if Joe Budden and them have really watched the episode or watched the full episode from Kevin Samuels, but he has always said that this was important to him. Everybody knows that. Like, how is that even an argument? You're just arguing to argue at this point. And whereas I could kind of understand where Joe was coming from before the argument, just everything he was saying, it kind of let me know this is just about being right. It's not about coming to an understanding. It's just about being right. And nothing Adam was going to say was going to be enough. He was always going to take it to some other weird level. Then they start arguing with him because of King Von's the designs on his album or his mixtape, whatever it was, having a number of people he's killed. And that became like, how do you not know that? How do you know? And that became a whole other thing. It's like, bro, can we just get to the topic? I don't think I'm wrong. That's it. Point simple. That's as Adam 22 is saying. Joe just wants you to agree, and I'm sorry, Joe, Adam's not agreeing with you, so I don't know what you're gonna do about it. But no, this is what's going on. It's happening. Adam's reporting on it, and he's giving a platform for a lot of people to not just talk about the negative, but to talk about positive, promote their music, and they're using him too. So come on. I just think that Joe needs to stop with this holier than thou Mother Teresa bullcrap he tries to get off. It's really annoying, and you can't really make a convincing argument for it because it's stupid. Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears looks like are being sued by a brother and sister who a few years back, they were in some weird skits with Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, where one was Tiffany Haddish was showing the girl how to perform oral, and the little boy with brother, he was, I guess, in a skit where Aries Spears was pretending to be a pedophile, was lusting after the boy, and they're both saying that they're traumatized from the event. I think she's like 21, 22 now, the brother's like 15. So this was a little whiles back, but they're saying they're traumatized from the event, and she has decided, the sister has decided to file a lawsuit. The girl says that Tiffany Haddish was a friend of the family, friend of their mother's, and so they trusted her. She brought them to the photo shoot where they were put in these weird situations. Now, a lot in the video, I think there's supposed to be meaning, at least behind the one with the boy. as far as like watch who you leave with your kids. And so I get the messaging behind it, but I think that, you know, whenever you do something like that, even if it's supposed to be for a joke, which I have no reason to believe that they were doing it for anything else than a joke. I do believe that I don't think that they were really trying to, you know, do sexual acts with children. I do believe also Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish were just doing like risque comedy. But when it's children, I think that everybody, the parents and children, should be made aware of it and have an understanding of what's going on. You don't want to blindside them with those kind of things, because it is very, you know, weird when it's kids. You know, at the same time, at the same time, you have a lot of like movies and shows where they show kids doing a lot of weird things, suggestive things, child molestation and rapes and things like that. So you see that in movies, and it is a lot of times depicted to like make something more sympathetic or sad or traumatic. But if you're trying to prove a point and you want to do it in a comedy way, I like I said, I understand it, and I'm not mad with that concept on its own. But I do think that Aries Spears, Tiffany Haddish, and everybody involved, it should have been an understanding from everybody. This is what we're going to do. This is the message behind it. And make sure everybody's okay with doing this. I don't know if the mom knew or not. Again, the daughter is old enough to where she can file a lawsuit if she wants to. I don't know if the mom knew Tiffany Haddish and the mom were friends. I don't know if she went into detail about what it was with the mother, or if Tiffany Haddish just came and got the kids and said, hey, I'm going to take them to a photo shoot. We're going to, you know, shoot some stuff. I do think you have to have an understanding with the parents, as long as the parents are okay with it. And of course, the kids are okay with it. I don't see an issue. Now, I do think that this is very funny or very timely. And this is after Aries Spears went in on Lizzo for being chunky and saying that nobody want no big woman. And he's right. most men don't want a big woman. If they don't get a big woman, they definitely don't want to be as big as Lizzo. She's huge. But a lot of women were like, oh, well, he's big. Nobody like him. Well, the thing is with men, most of the times, it is more about the pocketbook than the six-pack, you know. So, from that point of view, I understand what you're saying. He looks like a hypocrite, yes, but in all reality, most women, they care more about if you got money. You can be the most fit man in the world. If you can't afford to buy them lobster and steak and take them to whatever island they want to go on and buy them whatever expensive bag there is, most of them don't want you, or at least, you know, some variation of that. They can't, if you can't, you know, provide, they don't want you. Whereas men, we more physical. We want to look at something nice. We're going to be the provider, so we want something nice to look at. Now, there are some chubby chasers out there, but for the most part, they don't like that. But I just think that is, it's like, dang, man, I don't know what happened, how this happened, but it seems like right after that controversy with Aries Spears, comes out with some weird, creepy old videos of him, with a little boy. Again, even though this was a skit and it was designed to be creepy like that, as like a, hey, watch you leave your kids around thing, kind of come to biting them in the butt now. Again, if the kids had no idea, if they really were caught off guard, if the parents didn't know anything and this was just all like a surprise thing, I'm against that. I don't think that Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears meant to do any type of weird child pornography molestation thing. I think they were just trying to do risque comedy, and now these kids are older and they're saying, we didn't like this, we didn't want this, and we're gonna sue you. So they're getting sued now, and they're actually asking for them to be arrested. So getting scary. Just make sure everybody's on the up and up of what you're doing when you're doing stuff, so things like this don't happen later on in life. You understand it, you get signings, you get all that, have the parents sign stuff. Make sure it was perfectly made well aware of everything that was happening, because then you get in situations like this. So that's the show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, getting this whack wisdom. I hope that you tune in next week and get some more. And of course, again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit notification bell. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And this is the show, the WACCast Podcast, and I am whacking off.
It's the WACCast Podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack
It's
to me.
the WACCast Podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.